Hello beautiful creatures, welcome back to my channel Phyrra. If you're new here, my name is Cordelia and I love talking about bright and colorful alternative makeup, gothic fashion, mental health, pets, lifestyle, and more. So if you want to join in the conversation, please be sure to click that little subscribe button down below and don't forget to ring that bell. So today's video is going to be a Dupe the Vibes video on the Karla Cosmetics Romance Palette. I'm going to insert a photo up here for you to check it out. Now, Karla Cosmetics is a brand that I have seen popping up all over Instagram, and I was excited to find them on Camera Ready Cosmetics. So when I saw them and I saw this romance palette, I just was absolutely lusting after it because it's a palette with mattes and multi-chromes. And as you know, those are my two favorites. But when I was looking at it, I realized, you know, I can absolutely dupe the vibes of this palette because I have a lot of similar colors in my collection. So the Karla Cosmetics Romance Palette is $82 and it contains 4 shades. Let me read you the descriptions of the colors in the palette. So Cherish is a dusky pink. French Kiss is a burgundy. Romance is a multi-chrome that shifts from red, pink to turquoise and gold. And Pillow Fight shifts from a white shimmer to gold, yellow, and neon orange. So because I am duping the vibes, these might not be an exact match for those colors, but they're going to be close enough. Oh, and I do a tutorial on the end on the look that I have here, so you can check it out. So when I was looking through my collection to find multi-chromes that I thought would be really good for this particular quad, I found 2. And let me read you their color descriptions. The first color is Terra Moon's Light Year. And Light Year is an iridescent chameleon that shifts from green, gold, pink, and blue. It doesn't have like the neon orange, but I figure this is close enough in my collection. If I wanted one that had more of like a neon orange shift, I think that one of the colors that's in the Odens Hela palette, the iridescent in that palette, that multi-chrome might be a good choice. The other color that I chose was Terra Moon's Terrestrial. And Terra Moon's calls this color a fuchsia berry that shifts with yellow, gold, blue, and green shifts. So that is the color that I have here. This is Terrestrial and this is Light Year, which I think that they are absolutely stunning. So when I was going through my collection and looking at my mattes, I realized I have a lot of mattes that could work for duping the vibes of the Karla Romance palette. The top choices that I had for my mattes are Sydney Grace Haven, which is described as like a warm lavender matte, and Lethal Cosmetics Unity, which they describe as like a grape or a purple, but to my eyes, it's more of like a red wine with purple undertones, which I absolutely love. I went ahead and checked through all of the rest of the mattes or most of the rest of the mattes in my collection to see if I had other colors that would work for the vibes for this Karla Cosmetics Romance palette. And you may have some of these palettes in your collection already, which is part of why I wanted to show them to you. So in addition to those singles, I've also got the colors swatched from the Natasha Denona Mini Love palette because the 2 shades right here, this like light dusty pink and this burgundy, are perfect for it. These colors are also in the Natasha Denona Retro palette, this palette right here, and they would be, what is this color called? Andy and Groove. So those 2 colors work really well for it. If you're a fan of Necromancy Cosmetica, the Necromancy Cosmetica Gothic Romance palette is perfect for this. You can get those mattes with Wilted Roses and Velvet Thorns, which are beautiful colors. The Lime Crime Greatest Hits palette also has, I'd say, similar enough hues with the color In Bloom, which is definitely warmer than the other colors that I've shown you, and Botticelli, which is perfect. It is like so beautiful. And the last palette that I had mattes in that I felt like were really good for duping the vibes of the Karla Cosmetics Romance palette is the Milk Cosmetics She's in Parties palette. And the colors I chose were Total Immoral, the colors I chose were Total Immortal and Mean Streak. You know that I love Mean Streak. When this was a stack, I was obsessed with Mean Streak. So I'm going to go ahead and insert swatches for you now, showing you the multi-chromes and all of the mattes that I picked out, plus 1 extra matte. I also included the matte from Lethal Cosmetics called Crossroads, which is like a light pink, like lotus pink matte, because that one also I think could work if you don't happen to like some of the other warmer, dusty colors. So here are swatches of these colors for you to check out. Karla Cosmetics is definitely a brand that I'm interested in trying. I ordered 2 of their eyeshadows that I believe are holes in my duochrome and multichrome collection that are going to be shipped to me at some point from Camera Ready Cosmetics. I'm not saying that Karla Cosmetics is a bad brand at all. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they're an awesome looking brand, but that this palette at $82 is definitely very expensive. And since I had all of these very similar colors in my collection, that was why I thought it'd be fun to dupe the vibes. I do want to give you a little bit of a number breakdown on the singles that I put together. And the palette that I put together from singles is about half the cost of the Karla Cosmetics palette. So Terra Moon's Light Year is $17.50 and Terra Moon's Terrestrial is $13.75. Sydney Grace Haven is $5.25. And I believe Lethal Unity is $6. So I think that works out to like $45.50, something like that, not very expensive. Which reminds me, I do want to give a shout out to Camera Ready Cosmetics because I love Camera Ready Cosmetics. I've been shopping at Camera Ready Cosmetics over the past 2 years, and the reason I like shopping there is because they they carry a lot more of like pro brands as well as indie brands with their makeup selection. So aside from that, which I think is awesome, you can find samples of a lot of different foundations there. So if you were looking for a sample of, say, the Yummy Skin liquid foundation, I got a sample of it there. You can get samples of the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm foundation from Danessa Myricks there as well. There's all different kinds of pro foundation brands that you can get samples of if you're looking to try them. As I mentioned, they carry so many different high performance pro makeup brands, not just the popular brands that you might find at Sephora. I also love, as I mentioned, that they carry indie brands. So you can find Sydney Grace there, you can find Lethal Cosmetics there, you can find Karla Cosmetics, as I mentioned. You can find a lot of different brands that you might not have expected to find at Camera Ready Cosmetics. Another reason that I love shopping there is that they have impeccable customer service. If you have any issues at all, you email them immediately and they will figure out how to solve it. When I had an issue with an order, they were able to solve it in just 1 email. So I've been very impressed by the level of customer service that you get there. And number 5, like the 5th reason that I love shopping at Camera Ready Cosmetics is that they not only ship to the US, but they ship to most countries around the world, from my understanding. So you're not limited like you are with Sephora or Ulta on where they're shipping. So that's why I wanted to say I absolutely love Camera Ready Cosmetics. And Camera Ready Cosmetics, because I love them and have raved about them on my blog and on different platforms, gave me a code to give you that if you would like to use it, you can. Let me look up what the information is on the code. So the promo code that they gave me is Phyrra, and I'll put that on the screen. It'll be in the description box as well. And the code gives you, let's see, $5 off your entire order. It applies to one-time purchases. There is a minimum purchase of $50. And it's active from January 19th to February 28th. There are a couple exclusions that includes, like, if you're just buying samples, but for the most part it applies to most of the things that you'll find on their site. And as I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of theirs. I've been shopping there for the past couple of years, so I was very excited when I reached out to them and said, hey, could we set up a coupon code for you guys, that they were willing to do that. So now that I have shown you the swatches for my Duping the Vibes of the Karla Cosmetics Romance Palette, I'm going to go ahead and go into my tutorial on this look that I created. I'm going to put on Urban Decay's Eden Eyeshadow Primer. This is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow primers. I use Eden and Sin quite frequently. The reason I use them is that they work very well in my hooded eyes. The original primer potion does not work as well in my hooded eyes, but for some reason Sin and Eden work beautifully. And as you may have noticed, I have short stubby nails on right now. That's because my husband had surgery last Friday, and his surgery went well, but after surgery he had what doctors are calling a vagovasal episode, and so we were in the emergency room, had to call 911, and he had to go to the hospital in an ambulance. And so we were in the emergency room until after midnight last Friday night. So I took my nails off on Saturday so that I can make sure that I can do anything that he needs to get done. And typically I do really well with my long nails these days, but just for some of the stuff like dealing with the compression socks, it's just easier to have short nails at the moment. So I cut my nails off and put on Mooncat Supernatural polish so that I'd have some pretty polish. Alright, so now I have my eyeshadow primer on. As you can see, in my opinion, Eden is a really good match for my skin tone. It's like nice and light and matte. So I'm going to be recreating this look that I did here, which is my Duping the Vibes of the Karla Cosmetics Romance Palette. As a romantic goth, I thought that this would be just so much fun to do. I'm going to use the shade Lethal Unity right here. They describe this color as a grape, but I feel like it's more of a like purple-based red wine burgundy type of color. It's one of my favorite colors for makeup. So I'm using a pencil brush. This is the Sigma detailed pencil brush from the Sigma and Samantha Ravindal collaboration. And I'm going to just start taking the color inwards to about the halfway point, like right where my pupil is. And then I'm going to start drawing the color outwards. Because I have very hooded eyes and I have a lot of excess skin at the outer part of my eye, to create this wing, I find it easier to do it from the bottom. Oh, that's right. And I'm actually going to switch to a different Sigma brush. This is the E21. It has a little bit of a better point. I start to draw it out. And then to further take it out, I'm switching to this KVD brush, which is like an angled eyeliner brush, and I'm just going to continue it out to around the end of my brow. Going back to a pencil brush, because now I've got to take the color up and onto my lid. And I'm only going to take this again about to the halfway mark of my pupil with this big brush, because then I'm going to switch in back to the angled brush. And as you can see, like I mentioned, I have hooded eyes, so I've got a lot of excess skin out here that I got to deal with. Now, going inwards from about that halfway point, I'm going to try and tight line a little bit. I'm not tight lining under like I normally do, under the lashes. But I am drawing with the brush, like just right there, just to give a little bit of definition at the lash line without taking up too much lid space. If you have hooded eyes, you will find that tight lining does a great job of defining your lashes and giving you more lid space to work with fun multi-chromes. And I'm going to use a pointy Q-tip along the bottom. I normally don't have on all the rest of my makeup when I'm doing my eyes, but for the purpose of this video, I wanted to have as much of my makeup on as possible while doing this, just to kind of speed up the process. And this is an IT Cosmetics Smoky Liner Brush, a 125 brush, and I'm going to take the Sydney Grace shade Haven, which is this color right up here, and start smoking on top of the liner, on the upper lash line, or on top of Unity up here. I've received a lot of questions recently about what my favorite makeup brushes are, and I would have to say overall, for like longevity and all of the different shapes, it is the Sigma eyeshadow brushes, because I've realized when I was looking through my collection that I have had some of my Sigma brushes for 13 years and they're still around, still doing well. I'm switching to, this is my Lethal Cosmetics angled eyeliner brush, so that I can bring this color along here on top of that Unity liner. And then I'm kind of blending where the edges of the colors meet with this brush too. And I'm going to do this little curve in the top part of my eye. So for this, I'm going to use the KVD brush again, and I'm kind of starting like under the thickest part of the inner part of my brow to create the shape. And I'm just moving slowly. Trying to go about the same distance I went in this eye. And I went past like the outer part of the color of my pupil, or of my eye. And I'm going to bring it down inside. I find working in just very slow movements, like little dashes, works really well for me. And I decided that when I did the other side, I was going to make it a little bit thicker right just at this inner curve, because I thought it would be fun. I'm switching back to the It Cosmetics brush, and I'm taking more of Sydney Grace Haven, and I'm going to start blending at the top here. So in addition to Sigma brushes, I love my Urban Decay brushes, but I think that they discontinued all of them. I'm also quite fond of the It Cosmetics brushes from Ulta because I've bought several of them. I bought one of their holiday sets and really liked it, which is what prompted me to buy a couple of their other brushes. Their smoky and their liner brushes. Yeah, I just thought this was such a fun and creative look. Alright, so now I have that done. Next, I am going to apply the color Terra Moon's Terrestrial, which is this multi-chrome right here. And I'm using a Sydney Grace eyeshadow brush. I like the Sydney Grace eyeshadow brushes. The only thing I don't like about them is that they don't like say what they're for on them, which I understand that that's not something that bothers everybody. It's something that bothers me just because I like knowing like this is what they intend the brush for, so then I can decide, well, do I want to use it like that or do I want to use it a different way? I feel like it really helps people who are new to makeup especially. It gives them like a starting point, which is why I like having that information on it. I'm filling in all of this space below where I did the graphic liner. And well, I guess in between the graphic liner with Terrestrial because I thought it would be really pretty to have this multi-chrome. And then I'm kind of tapering it off to go towards the liner. Now, if you ever want to make a multi-chrome more intense, you can always use it wet. You can use a glitter eye primer like the Concrete Minerals glitter eye primer, which I love. And I forgot to use it on this side today, so I didn't want to use it on the other side and be like, oh, hey, these don't match. Oh, I'm going to take a little bit more of Sydney Grace Haven in that brush from It Cosmetics and just bring the softer pink in towards the towards more the center of my, or inner part of my lower lid a little bit, before switching back to the Sydney Grace brush and taking Terrestrial, the multi-chrome, right here at the inner corner. Now I'm going to take Terra Moon's Light Year, which is this color right here, and I'm going to highlight it under here. I'm breaking all the rules with hooded eyes, how you're not supposed to put, you know, shimmer onto the hood of the eye or anything, but I have so much fun with color when I know the rules and then decide how I want to break them. All right, so there's that. I will be back in just a minute. I'm going to put mascara on, and I'm going to put on this LA Girl super bright pencil on my lower waterline, and it'll just be easier if I do it off camera and come right back. So I am all zoomed in so you can see the finished look up close. And if you're wondering about the rest of the makeup on my face, I will put everything that I'm wearing on my face in my blog post that goes with this video, and I'll put the information into the description box as well so you can check it out, because I'm wearing a lot of indie products on my face. But here is my finished look up close, and hopefully you can see all of the beautiful color shifts and the Terra Moon's multi-chromes. I had so much fun putting this look together. I love doing winged liner from the bottom with my hooded eyes. It's one of the ways that I have found to make liner look very flattering with my eye shape. And a lot of what makeup is figuring out what works for your eye shape. And I know that when you have hooded eyes like mine, it can sometimes be difficult. So I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. I hope that if you're interested in trying, you know, some of these products, that you can, you know, take a peek over at Camera Ready Cosmetics, because like I said, I love them. They give great customer service. They carry so many great brands. That's one of the reasons why I've pretty much stopped shopping at Sephora, because I can get all of my Danessa Myricks at Camera Ready Cosmetics. So I would far rather buy from Camera Ready Cosmetics, where I get good service and they carry more of the brands that I like. So anyway, so please let me know, what do you think of my duping the vibes of the Karla Cosmetics Romance palette? Do you like the indie colors that I put together? Do you like the fact that the palette I came up with was about 50% of the cost of the Karla Cosmetics palette? Are you interested in more of these duping the vibes videos? Because I'm really excited to make more. The next duping the vibes video that I am working on is going to be for the Blend Bunny Cosmetics, the multi-chrome palette that they did. There's like a, I think it's called the Lure palette, which is a quad. And also it's very beautiful too. I just thought it'd be a lot of fun for me to go through my collection and look for singles that matched it. So yeah, I had so much fun putting this look together. I think that it really is a great way to get more out of my collection by going through and going, well, can I dupe this palette? Can I get something that's really close? It may not be 100% match, but it's going to give me more of those vibes. I know that I mentioned the Odens Hela palette, so the color I was thinking about in this palette that might be closer to the Karla Cosmetics multi-chrome is double-sided. It's this one right here. And I forgot when I did my swatches that this one had like a orange shift, and I should have remembered because Angie loves orange. So this may or may not show up for you. But yeah, so if you have the Odens Hela palette, you may also have a multi-chrome that's similar enough to Lightyear, or the one that's in the Karla Cosmetics palette that you know, might not need to get that color from Terra Moons. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it. Let me know. I want to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.